about Shonta and True in this last episode of Love After Lockup and talk about a few different things that Shonta has spoken out about on social media recently. First, let's talk about this episode. Okay, so Shonta claims that she is up in Cape for a week because she got this Airbnb, and she claims it's like a test run to see if her and True are going to work out before she decides to move him into her home with her kids. Which I think this is a great idea. I think other cast members should take notes and try to do something like this, a little free trial, before they just jump in head first into moving in with somebody. But I think it's more than just her wanting to get to know True first. It's because the man is unable to move to Kansas City. A lot of you guys seen my video where I was spilling a lot of tea on Shonta and True after this girl that we're gonna see in a future episode who filmed with True and claimed she hooked up with True said that True was unable to move to Kansas City. His parole did not end up approving it, so he ended up having to stay in Cape. Shonta had her place back in Kansas City, so she had to go back to KC, and once she went back, that's when True allegedly started acting up and hooking up with all these different girls, according to a few of my sources who hooked up with him. Remember when Shonta was complaining because she was having to pay rent in two different places? She claimed that she had to pay rent in Kansas, and then she moved to Missouri to prepare for True's release. And then True gets out and he can't even come to Kansas City to be with her. So she should have just waited. She could have just kept her house in Kansas and waited till he got his parole approved before moving to Missouri, or got an Airbnb for a while until they figured all that out. And then we see Shonta and True just hanging out at Shonta's house. And True is starting to get kind of irritated with Shonta because he feels like she always just has her nose in the phone. She's really quiet and reserved. And True is the complete opposite. He has so much energy. He just wants to go, go, go. He wants to see the world. And you know, True went into prison at a young age. And when a lot of us are young, that's when we all want to be out and running around with our friends and be on the go, go, go. So True is just picking up from where he left off at before he went to prison. After Shonta and True got home from the sex shop, they hooked up, and the next morning, Shonta wakes up and True is nowhere to be found. So she's sitting there on the couch, she's calling up his phone, he's completely ignoring her calls, and meanwhile, he's out and about running around, and he went to go get some food. I'm pretty sure he was with his sister, but he was talking about how he was wanting to get in touch with his sister's friend. And this is a girl that he used to hook up with in the past. And while he was eating, he's telling her all about how boring Shonta is. He said that she's been talking to him with an attitude because she doesn't want to go to the casino late in the middle of the night. He feels like Shonta is nothing like what he was expecting. But you know, I mean, you can't have two crazy people who are all over the place in a relationship. You need some kind of balance. So I feel like she does balance him out. But the thing is, True seems like the type that he will get bored real quick. And that's why you see him all over the place all the time. And he even admitted that's why he's always on the go. Because in the past, when he was just stagnant and not doing anything, that's when he would find himself getting in trouble. And after he was done eating, he finally heads back to Shonta's and walks in the door. And Shonta, you know, you can tell that she's not happy at all. She's kind of being passive aggressive. And he was like, dude, what's wrong? She's like, I'm fine. Like, she couldn't even tell him that she was upset when she was clearly upset, you know, and that doesn't really ever help to lie and try to brush things under the rug. The more they talk, the more obvious it is that Shonta has a chip on her shoulder. So True finally demanded for her to tell him what was wrong with her? And she's like, you haven't been answering my phone calls. What were you doing? And he's like, I went out to eat. And it's like, okay, first of all, you should have came back with some food for your girl too. He claimed he went to Wendy's. You should have called your girl and been like, look, I'm at Wendy's, babe. What do you want? And so that's strike number one right there. And strike number two, he claims he went shopping. But he went to all these different places and got all this stuff, but he walks in with no bags. And we didn't see him go shopping, not that I can remember on the show. We just saw him go out to eat, unless they edited that part out. I would definitely be suspicious if I asked my man where all these items he was just buying while he was shopping was at, and then he responded by telling me, oh yeah, I left it in my sister's car. Like, what's the point of buying stuff if you're gonna leave it in someone else's car? That don't even make any sense whatsoever. And Shonta just finally admitted that she was upset and that he needs to answer her phone calls. And like I said, True said she was boring. And you know, another thing is a lot of people don't know about Shonta is she has lupus. And I know a few months ago she was going through chemotherapy. And I'm not sure if she had received her diagnosis during or before she was on the show, or maybe it was after they filmed for this season. But lupus will have you so weak, it'll have you with zero energy, and to be going through chemotherapy on top of that, that is so rough on the body. So True really has to be understanding about her medical conditions. That's exactly what my source told me too, and we talked about my video about Shonta and True, that Shonta was at home a lot of times sick with lupus, and True isn't the type of dude to just sit around at home all day, so he would be out and about all over the place. And now let's talk about a few things that Shonta was talking about on social media. Someone posted, this man is gonna dog walk her and she's gonna see what everyone was talking about. And then she posted these pictures of her and True kissing. And her and True are still currently together. They're supposed to be getting married soon, and she's pregnant with his baby. So I don't think they're going to be leaving each other alone anytime soon. True posted the other day that he was hella hungry, so he made himself some prison steamed noodles, and he said they were hella fire, but once he was eating them, he was reminded about how much he does not ever want to go back to prison and eat like this again. And I remember back in the days when I was locked up, like different ramen bowls and prison recipes we used to make, that used to be so good while you're locked up, but once you get out and try to make that stuff while you have other options, it is so nasty. It's like night and day, the taste. And Shonta posted that she wants to say so effing much about tonight, and this was after last Friday's episode, and she said, not y'all played a whole game. And Clarissa commented and said, girl, I felt your frustrations. It seems like he's not giving no F's about his probation. I hope that outside the show, he really takes it serious, because he was driving me crazy with his careless attitude about it. And Shonta responded, and she said, no, he still don't give an F. But that back and forth wasn't with me. I was intervening though. So the way that they had me looking is crazy. And this isn't the first time a cast member has said something like that. Deontay came out and was really upset when Lindsay was out and about while she was filming, and she was with Deontay, and her phone was blowing up, and they were trying to pretend it was Deontay blowing her up, and he said he only called and texted her one time, and it was actually a producer trying to blow Lindsay up to make it look like him and make it look like he was more clingy than he actually was. That makes more sense on why he wasn't answering the phone though while he was out to eat, because if you have nothing to hide, just answer the phone and she'll chill out and quit calling so much. But if that was not her calling, then that makes sense. And someone else said, that's TV for you. And Shonta said, I'm just sitting here like, what the hell? That had nothing to do with me and True. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.